Nutrition education has always been important to beef farmers and ranchers, and empowering Texans to lead healthier lives remains a top priority. Showcasing beef's role in a healthy diet is a part of all of our education opportunities. But our Grilling 101 class is one of our favorites. Jerry McPherson, Grill Master at Texas Beef Council, has taught hundreds of these classes. He will guide you through planning and hosting your very own Grilling 101.
Hi, I'm Jerry McPherson. A lot of pride comes with grilling that perfect steak or that burger. Today, not only will you feel more comfortable at the grill, but you'll be able to share this knowledge in your own programs. My goals for you today are to learn step-by-step grilling instructions. Second, to share Texas Beef Council's resources. And third, tips and tricks on conducting your own Grilling 101. So now let's get started. So the first step in the grilling process is lighting your grill. There's lots of options out on the market today, but the two most common are your gas grill and your charcoal grill. So the first thing we're going to do when we're going to light up our gas grill is make sure that we connect our hose up to our tank, but also make sure that all our knobs are in the off position, and make sure that you didn't leave anything on the grill the night before. Now that we've checked our grates, our knobs are in the off position, now we can hook up our propane tank. Once you have your hose on nice and tight, now you can turn on your propane tank. So once you have your propane tank on, all your knobs are in the off position. On this particular model, all you have to do is turn the knob to the lightning bolt and then push the little button and it ignites up. Once it is lit and gets up, all you can do is shut your door and now turn your other two knobs on to the lightning bolt and it will light up. So now let's talk about a charcoal grill. I know we want to use a charcoal grill because it adds flavor to our meat, right? Instead of using a pyramid method or a chimney method of lighting our coals, we're going to teach you a new method today called the grid pattern. Usually a grid pattern is either like a 6x6 or 7x7 grid pattern, single layer on the bottom of your grill. And what dictates the size of your grid pattern is how much meat we're going to be cooking today. So just keep that in mind when we're building our grid pattern. So today we're going to use a 6x6 method. We're going to lay them down in a grid pattern. One single layer gives you about 15 to 20 minutes of heat time when you're cooking. So now that we've decided how much meat we're going to be cooking and we finished doing our grid pattern, now it's time to light our grid. So take your lighter and light it at each corner of your grid pattern. Now that we've got our coals lit, now make sure you put your grate back on top and let it burn down anything that's cooked on there the night before. Okay, now that we've let our coals burn down, now what we need to do is we need to clean our grates. Now I know a lot of you use the wire brush. Those are okay to use, but make sure that the bristles are nice and new on it and they're not falling out of your brush. If they're falling, go ahead and discard of it. But what we'd like to teach you today is using a foil ball. Take some foil, roll it up into a nice big ball, come back over here, and all you want to do with this foil ball is just get all the nice big chunks off from whatever you cooked the night before. Once you've cleaned all the big chunks off your grate, now we're ready to move on to what we call the onion method. Now we want to come back with a straight yellow onion. What you do is just cut it in half, come back, and then come right over your grate. Now you can use your tongs or you can use your knife that you cut the onion with, but today I'm just going to use my hand to scrape this nice yellow onion all over the grates and get all that nice little fine stuff that you didn't get off with the foil ball. Now that we're through cleaning our grates, now we're ready to move on to oiling our grates. Now I know a lot of you use a mop brush and you use a high heat cooking oil like canola oil or grapeseed oil. Those are great methods to put on your grates. But today, for ease and purposes, we're going to teach you about using a high heat sensitive aerosol can. Now remember, it is an aerosol can and we don't want to spray it directly into our coals because we'll flare up, right? So remember to always remove your grate, walk over to a grass area, somewhere where it will not be nice and slippery on concrete. So once the grill is clean, we want to come back and check our heat for a nice medium heat, 400 to 415 degrees. So we don't have a temperature gauge here, so what we're going to teach you is the 4x4 method. What that is taking your hand 4 inches above the heat source, not the grate, but the heat source, and go 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 before you have to remove your hand. Then we know we're in that 400 to 415 degree area. Now, if you can sit there and go 1 1000, 2 1000, and you have to remove your hand, it is too hot. Let your coals burn down a little bit longer before you place your meat on it. Now, if you can go 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, and count to 10, you've got an expensive hand warmer now. You let your coals burn down too long. There are many cuts suitable for the grill, but let's take a look at the top 6 cuts for the grill. First, we have the ribeye steak, we have the strip steak, we have the top sirloin steak, and then we have the flat iron steak, the skirt steak, and the flank steak. Whenever we're going to marinate, we like to use that on our tougher cuts. Now, first we're going to talk about a marinade on our tougher cut, like our skirt steak here. Whenever you're going to marinate something, remember that you need to have it in a sealed container and you're going to put it in the refrigerator. Now, if I wanted to add just a flavor profile to this, I need to marinate it anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours. If I wanted to tenderize this cut as well, I would need to marinate it from about 6 hours to 18 hours. Now, the one thing you need to remember anytime you're going to marinate something is it's going to take on that flavor profile. So if you've got something hot and spicy, just remember that when you're marinated, it's going to take on that flavor profile. Now, whenever we're going to use a dry rub, usually we use that on a more tender cut, like a flat iron or tenderloin or strip steak. The first thing you're going to want to do is add a little bit of olive oil to your steak. If you don't have olive oil, grapeseed oil or canola oil is a high heat oil, so those are great as well. But just a little bit goes a long way. Just put a little bit on your steak, rub it on one side, then come back and flip it over, and then rub it in on the other side. Now all you're going to do is pick out whatever your dry rub, your favorite seasoning is, and just sprinkle it on top. Give it a nice good coating. Now rub it in real good. Now flip your steak over, and then continue to season the other side as well. Okay, now that we've got our coals burned down to our nice medium 400 to 415 degrees, we've seasoned our steaks. Now we're ready to place our steaks on the grill. So tip number 1 is make sure when placing your steaks on the grill, put them about 1 inch to 1.5 inches inside those coals and leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in between each steak. That way you're cooking on an even cook surface. Now that we've got our steaks cooking, the next tip number 2, is we're only going to flip our steaks one time. So how do we know when to flip our steaks? Well, we're going to look for a couple of different things. So the first thing is, have you ever tried to pick up your steak and it stick to the grill? Well, it's not ready to be flipped yet. The third and final tip is we're looking for the moisture on top. Beef is approximately 75% water. So that moisture is going to pull up to the top, and it's a sign to say, hey, I'm ready to be flipped. So once you start seeing that pulling of moisture, check your steaks. If it releases off of the grate, now we can flip our steaks. Okay, now that we've flipped our steaks, now what we're going to be looking for is the pulling of moisture on top of the steaks once again. So that'll let us know roughly when our steaks are about ready, depending on the doneness that you like your steaks. Now I know we all eat our steaks at medium rare, so we would like to look at a 145 internal temperature. So what I would recommend though is a beef thermometer. The first thing you want to remember about using a beef thermometer is you want to avoid the fat side of the steak, or if you actually have a steak with a bone in it, avoid the bone as well. So we want to lift up our steak off of the grate, stick in your beef thermometer through the side of the steak, lift it up off of the grates, and wait 5 to 10 seconds, and then your instant read thermometer should come to a steady stop. When you remove your steaks from the grill, allow them to rest for 3 minutes. This will help redistribute the juices. Now while resting, keep in mind the internal temperature will continue to rise. There are many ways to put on a Grilling 101 program. My favorite method is the hands-on experience. Let's put to practice what they've just learned and let the participants grill their own steaks just the way they like it. This requires additional kettle grills. 4 to 5 people can cook comfortably on a kettle grill. Now remember, you're going to have to transport these grills, and at the end of class, you're going to have to empty the coals when they burn down. If you are limited to an indoor space, you can use a grilling pan or an electric skillet. Here's a list of supplies you'll need when putting on your own Grilling 101 program. You'll first need grills, instant light charcoal, lighters, tongs, foil, yellow onion, grilling spray, a demo steak, seasoning, oil, thermometers, plates and utensils, gloves, cleaning supplies, aprons, and a grilling guide. Texas Beef Council provides complimentary grilling guides, aprons, and beef thermometers for your participants. Please visit beeflovingtexans.com/resources and allow 2 weeks for your delivery. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to email me at jerry@txbeef.org.
Now that you're ready to host your own Grilling 101, I want to encourage you to add healthy side dishes to your meal, your demo or your participant sampling. In my experience, dishes like a quinoa salad, grilled vegetables, a fresh, beautiful green salad, or a fruit salad are crowd pleasers that help to ensure a balanced meal. In addition to the grilling resources that Jerry mentioned, Texas Beef Council offers great nutrition education pieces. Things like a healthy grocery guide, diabetes brochures in both Spanish and English, protein pantry lists, and much more. You can access all of these at beeflovingtexans.com/resources. Thanks for your time and happy grilling.